As you watch this video, a massive global empire is quietly expanding. It does not use weapons, it does not care about politics, and it does not care about borders. It is an empire of blood sugar. Welcome to NutriFocus. I am the consultant registered dietitian and diabetes care education specialist at Harper University Hospital here in Michigan. According to the latest global medical data, 1 in every 9 adults on earth is living with diabetes. That is roughly 589 million people. If those individuals all lived in one place, they would form the third largest nation on the planet. But here is the truly terrifying part. Over 40% of those people, roughly 250 million human beings, have absolutely no idea they have it. They are walking around right now, going to work, spending time with their families, while an invisible chemical imbalance slowly pulls the strings behind the scene. In the United States alone, the newest numbers show that the diagnostic count has climbed to over 40 million people. That is about 12% of the entire country. So, what actually is diabetes? Why is it skyrocketing so rapidly across the globe? And what does the newest science tell us about reversing it? Let's break it all down simply without the confusing medical jargon. To understand diabetes, we first have to look at how your body handles fuel. Every single time you eat a piece of bread, an apple, or slice of pizza, your digestive system breaks those carbohydrates down into a simple sugar called glucose. Glucose is your body's primary gasoline. It enters your bloodstream and your cells are supposed to absorb it to give you the energy to think, to blink, and to move. But glucose cannot just stroll into a cell on its own. The cell wall is firmly locked. This is where your pancreas comes in, a small gland sitting right behind your stomach. When it senses glucose entering your blood, it releases a hormone called insulin. Think of insulin as a biological key. It travels through your blood, inserts itself into the cell's lock, turns it and allows the glucose to safely enter the cell. When the system works, your blood sugar levels stay perfectly balanced. But when it breaks down, you get diabetes, and it breaks down in two completely different ways. First, there is type 1 diabetes. In this version, your body's own immune system gets confused and mistakenly destroys the key factory, especially the beta cells in your pancreas that produce insulin. Suddenly, you have zero keys. Glucose piles up in your bloodstream while your cells literally starve for energy. This accounts for about 5 to 10% of all cases, and it can develop at any age. Then there's a type 2 diabetes, which makes up roughly 95% of all cases worldwide. Here, the problem is different. Your pancreas makes plenty of keys, but the locks on your cells are rusted shut. We call this insulin resistance. If you check my previous video, I talk about this and how to reverse that. Because the cells won't open, your pancreas panics and pumps out even more insulin to force the doors open. Eventually, the pancreas gets exhausted, wears out, and blood sugar spikes out of control. Now, let's look at the data. Because the demographic of this condition are shifting dramatically. Diabetes used to be incorrectly labeled as a disease of wealthy nations. The latest global statistics completely shatter that myth. Today, over 80% of all adults with diabetes live in low and middle income countries. Rapid urbanization, changes in global food processing, and increasingly sedentary lifestyles are causing cases to explode in regions that do not always have the medical infrastructure to manage it. If current trends hold, international health models project that by the mid 2000s, a staggering 853 million people globally will be dealing with this condition. If we zoom into the United States, we see a major demographic gaps. The data highlights deep racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic disparities. Indigenous, Black, and Hispanic communities face significantly higher rates of diagnosed diabetes compared to non-Hispanic white adults. Age is also a massive accelerator. While only about 3.6% of young American adults are diagnosed, that number rockets up to over 27% for Americans aged 60 and older. That means more than 1 in 4 seniors is managing this disease right now. But the biggest lurking shadow in healthcare today is not even diagnosed diabetes, it is prediabetes. Right now, an estimated 115 million American adults have prediabetes. That is more than 2 in every 5 adults you pass on the street. Their blood sugar is dangerously high, but not quite at the official diabetes threshold yet. And brace yourself for this, 8 out of 10 of them have absolutely no idea they are standing on the edge of the cliff. Why does this matter so much? Why are health professionals so obsessed with a little extra sugar in your blood? Because sugar is not meant to sit in your bloodstream long term. When glucose concentration stays high, it changes the physical property of your blood, turning it into something resembling a corrosive syrup. It triggers chronic systemic inflammation, and it literally scrapes and damages the microscopic blood vessels that feed your vital organs. Over time, this damage leads to devastating complications. We are talking about being the leading cause of adult blindness, kidney failure, a heavily increased risk of stroke and heart attacks, and severe nerve damage that leads to over 150,000 lower limb amputations every single year in the United States alone. This is an immense human tragedy, but it is also an economic monster. Diabetes now accounts for 25% of all healthcare dollars spent in the United States. Total costs have soared past $400 billion annually. To put that in perspective, the medical expenses for a person with diabetes are more than double those of someone living without it. The financial and physical toll is staggering, which brings us the most important part of our discussion. What can we actually do about it? Here is where we turn the corner, because the medical research happening right now is nothing short of a revolution. For decades, type 2 diabetes was viewed as a permanent progressive downward spiral. You got diagnosed, you took medication, and you simply watched it get worse over time. But groundbreaking clinical trials have fundamentally flipped that script. We now have concrete, peer-reviewed proof that through intensive weight management, structured nutritional intervention, and early lifestyle changes, type 2 diabetes can be put into complete remission. Furthermore, the rise of advanced therapies like GLP-1 and GIP receptor agonist has completely altered the treatment landscape by directly improving how the body secretes insulin and processes metabolic health. On the type 1 front, researchers are successfully testing smart insulin patches and implantable cell therapies designed to shield new insulin producing cells from immune attacks. We are closer than we have ever been to a functional cure. Diabetes is an empire, yes, but it is an empire we actively know how to dismantle. If you are over the age of 45, if you have a family history of metabolic issues, or if you simply haven't had a check-up in a long time, do yourself a favor and request inexpensive simple blood test called A1C test. It measures your average blood sugar over the last 3 months, and it is the single best way to know exactly where you stand. Knowledge is the ultimate power move for your health. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that subscribe button. Share this video with someone you care about, and drop your questions in the comments below. Let's keep decoding health together. Stay healthy, stay smart, and stay focused with NutriFocus. This is RD Prasad, and I will see you in next video.